Today we will talk about how to do basic percents on your calculator. For that you need to know the fractions. I will go over the fraction entry very quickly. Your calculator should have a fraction button, and that is a key kind of like this. Either it looks like a fraction, I'm wiggling it, or it is an ABC button. So for example, I'm going to enter 1/2. For this type of calculator, I enter the fraction and I put 1, right arrow, 2, and then right arrow, and then when you push enter, you have it as 1/2. You can do the same thing with 5/3, push the fraction button, 5, right arrow, 3, right arrow, equal 5/3. For a mixed number, you have to get to the mixed number area, which is shift the fraction button. Then you have to enter 2, right arrow to go to numerator, 1, right arrow to go to the denominator, 3, right arrow to get out of the fraction mode, equals. Now when you push equals, it automatically converted the mixed number into an improper fraction. Alright, now if I want to go back and forth between fractions and decimals and percents, you have to do a couple of things. There are a few more buttons that you need to know. Let's say I want to go from fraction to decimal. You go to the fraction, enter it, 1, right arrow, 2. Now if you have a calculator that doesn't have a key like this, it has the ABC key, the way you would have entered it is you would enter 1, the numerator, push the ABC key, 2. Now if you're entering the mixed number, you would enter 2, ABC key, 1, ABC key, 3. So you end up pushing the key twice. Now I have the 1/2 as a fraction. Now to go to the decimal, watch, if I push the equal sign, it leaves it as a fraction. That may or may not happen on your calculator. But now if I do shift equal sign, nothing happens. But if you go and go to the decimal mode, do you see that SD, the decimal mode one? I push that and it goes to the decimal. Now in your calculator you may have a squiggly equal sign right above the equal sign. So that might be the key that replaces the D. So go and look for a decimal key or an approximately equal key to go from fraction to decimal. Now if you want to go from decimal to fraction, that button may also be a frac button, F-A-R-A-C. So look for either ABC, decimal, frac button, or something like this. For this one, if I want to go back, I push the SD button one more time, I go back to fraction. So this is going back and forth, fraction and decimal. Now if I want to enter things as percents, let's say I want to enter 50%, you go 50, and then you look for a percent sign. In this calculator, it's right here above the left parentheses. You go shift, left parentheses, and it takes it as a percent. If I push equal, watch what happens. It goes automatically to fraction. Now, if I want to go from fraction to decimal, remember what you do. You push the decimal button. Then it goes to the decimal, back to fraction, and so forth. Now, if you want to do, for example, 50% of 2, you can enter 50% of means times 2. So you don't have to convert those into fractions or decimals. You can enter them as percents. And I know 50% of 2 is simply 1. And watch. 1. Okay? Now another thing you may need in this chapter is simplifying fractions. And that one is, remember, 6, right arrow, 12. Most calculators will simplify fractions by simply entering equal or enter button. See 1/2. Now, if you want to take that 1/2 and add 1 to it, using the answer memory, you can just go +1 Watch what happened. Most calculators will keep that last answer in the answer memory and add 1 to it. And look, I went to 3/2. Okay? Now, let's say I want to store 3/2 in just a temporary memory, and you can use a store key for that one, and this calculator has that. And to get to store, I'm wiggling it right here, Shift Recall, and you see it pushes the store. It tells you what to do, and then I'm telling him put it in memory. Look what it did, 3/2, and it put it in the memory. Now let's say I had 3/2, remember? So let's say I want to recall that. You go recall memory. It recalled the 3/2, and then you can add 1 to it if you want. Look what you have, 5/2. So you can do a lot of different things with a couple of keys here, including the % key.